We are going to be using watercolors, and we know that to release the color, what do you have to do? To release the color out of the pan in watercolors, what do you have to do? Add water, right? So in our watercolor pan, I'm just going to get some water and really put some water in. But it takes more than just a little bit of water. What we really also need is to swish it around. The more you swish it, the more it's going to rub the pigment into the water, and it's going to get thicker and thicker, and so darker and darker and darker and darker. Okay? So that's what we want to make sure that we do, is get lots of water and do lots of rubbing. Now, for this first step, we don't want to use a super dark color. We can use a darker color like a blue or a purple, but if we do it, we got to do it in a very light manner, right? Because we don't want it to be dark. So mix it with a lot of water, a little bit of color, a lot of water. I'm going to use yellow because I saw some yellow projects that I thought would look good. And I'm really just doing like an underpainting here, right? It doesn't have to be smooth. It can be have lots of different types of color. It can drip a little bit. And I'm pretty much painting a base coat across the whole thing. I'm not thinking about whether I'm painting background, whether I'm painting foreground. I'm not thinking about any of that stuff. I'm just thinking about getting some coverage around it. You can make it smooth, you can make it uneven. Okay, however you like. I'm gonna make mine a little bit uneven. Right, let mine drip a little bit. Have some places that are maybe darker. If you want to do multiple colors, you can, but be careful with it. Don't go overboard. At most, do only 2 colors, and do colors that are similar. Like I'm going to do orange and yellow. Right, so there's a little bit of orange. Some orange down there. Maybe add a little bit of water so it kind of blends in. Right, a little bit of orange, a little bit of yellow, and that's how I have my background in. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? Before you do this step, it's very important that you have your pencil lines erased, because once you start painting, you can't get those pencil lines up because the paint's going to be on top of it, and it's going to be very hard to remove pencil lines. And those pencil lines are just going to like really pop out, and you're going to see them really nice and dark. When you get paint on them, they darken up. Okay, so make sure they're nice and erased before you do this step. Any questions? Okay, go ahead and get out your paint and work on this step. All right, our next step has to do with the finding shapes in this blind contour line drawing. Shh. So, eyes up front. Eyes up front. On this contour line drawing, because we did it blind, right, and we did it as one continuous line, it created some shapes that maybe are intentional, some may be unintentional, some overlapping things that maybe shouldn't have overlapped to create some interesting shapes. So what I want to do is like I see these lips in here, right? And there's some shapes have been created. I no longer want to look at like the form of everything. Now I'm creating a new kind of abstract kind of painting. So I'm going to find interesting shapes and I'm going to paint those in as solid colors. So I'm going to take like this lip shape and paint it in orange. Create nice solid colors. Now this paint we want to do thicker, so that means we're rubbing a lot into the pan, right? Not quite as much water to get nice thick solid paints and paint colors to help cover up that background. Okay, so I found that one there. Maybe this eye right here, I'll paint that one in orange as well. And then maybe I'll choose a different color. Like maybe purple. And maybe I'll make the other eye purple. I can get that a little darker. Shh. Eyes up front. There, that's better. So we got one eye orange, one eye purple. And we are no longer trying to paint a picture of a person. This is now an abstract picture, right? We are now trying to find interesting shapes and interesting ways of putting those shapes together to create an interesting looking design. Okay, something that's unique, right? It's no longer a portrait of a person. Now it's like complete unique, interesting painting. Okay? Trying to find interesting shapes. Does everybody understand that? Are there any questions on that?
No.
Yes.
Do we have to get the small brushes?
Yes, for this part you're going to want to get a small brush. So there's the other box that says brush is small, get them out of there. Okay? Any other questions? All right.
Should we get our pictures out right now?
Yes, once your picture's dry, bring it back in and then you can go ahead and start this process.